barbell incident. It was the early hours of a Tuesday morning in St. Charles, Missouri. The gym was entirely silent, and it was the kind of silent that only came when the world outside was asleep. At around 2:50 a.m., a young 23-year-old woman would be the only one in the gym finishing what should have been just another workout. She was a paramedic, the kind of person used to helping people, saving lives, and bringing the injured to safety. The woman would step into a Smith machine and rack weight onto its barbell, and then she began squatting it. The only issue was that the weight was too much for her. In the middle of her set, she began struggling. She tried hard to re-rack the weight, but no matter how hard she pushed, the bar wouldn't go up. Then, in an instant, her legs gave out. She lost balance and the heavy bar dropped with no spotter to catch it. The machine pinned her down, trapping her beneath the crushing weight. And unfortunately, since she was the only one in the gym, nobody was around to hear or see her struggle. For nearly half an hour, she laid pinned and crushed under the pressure of the weight before another gym member finally walked in and found her. But
Wait,
by then,
if you're squatting and it's too heavy, can't you just jump out the way forward?
it was already too late.
How
The
the
member tried to help and called 911, but by the time paramedics arrived, they couldn't do anything for her. Her co-workers at the Christian hospital remembered her as vibrant, full of energy, and always
Damn.
lighting up the room with her smile. But that promise, that brightness, was extinguished in a freak accident that lasted only seconds. Even in a place meant for health and strength, danger can hide in plain sight. If you're lifting heavy weights, always remember to
Chat
bring a
back,
partner.
finally.
There's been a number of times where I've gotten trapped underneath weight without a spotter, but I was fortunate enough to have friendly passerbys help me out. So even if you don't have a partner to work
You
out
know what's
with,
crazy?
try to work out
I
when
have
the gym is active.
never in my life watched Save Files, Dad Finds in Forest. What is that?
And has other people in
I
it.
have never in my life ever got caught underneath weight.
May this woman's soul rest in
I've seen my dad almost do it.
peace. The leg press incident. 8 years ago, in Vadodara, India, a middle-aged man walked inside of a gym for what should have been a normal workout.
You might got a re-spark, Unc. No, I'm not doing all that. I ain't gonna lie.
Moved from one exercise to another until he finally settled in front of the leg press machine, a piece of equipment built to test and improve raw lower body strength. The man began racking weight onto the machine until it was fully loaded with plates stacked heavy on both sides. Ahmad climbed in, positioned his back against the pad, and began pressing. At first, everything seemed fine. Surprisingly, as his legs pushed the machine, the estimated 1,000 to 1,400 pounds he was leg pressing actually moved. But then came the moment of truth, re-racking the load. He tried to lock the machine and began struggling. In an instant, his legs buckled. The massive weight came crashing down, snapping his left leg backwards with a sickening crack. The gym floor filled with screams as people rushed toward the mangled machine, the horror of the injury plain for everyone to see. But, by some miracle,
Wait, but he should have died from that, right?
the man survived. Nonetheless, the leg press still had done its damage. It had left him with a horrible, gruesome injury, and a lesson that would haunt him forever. Don't ego lift. It's not worth your legs.
Why are you leg pressing 1,000 pounds, you Incredible Hulk, trying to be mother?
Shake incident. It was the end of New Year's Eve in Wales.
I've never realized how dangerous the gym is. Now that I think about it, niggas is lifting thousands. I mean, well, first of all, it depends on what you're lifting. I feel like a 35 pound dumbbell can kill you. What the f happened to it? The nigga died from a protein shake?
Aspiring musician and fitness
The gym might be hella dangerous now that I think about it, like actually super dangerous.
enthusiast had completed his day and decided to finish the night off by preparing a protein shake to drink. As you could guess, this was something he had done countless times before. But this time, he would try something new, because after all, it was New Year's. His friend recommended that he add a specific powder into his shake, and excited to test it out, the man put a teaspoon of the powder into his drink, blended it,
He gave this nigga steroids. This nigga heart about to blow up.
and began drinking it. And then, nothing happened. The drink was just a little bitter, and so he sent a text message to his friend complaining about its taste, but other than that, he was fine. Then the man went to sleep to end his night. Unfortunately,
It's stuck
he
again?
wouldn't live to see the next morning. You see, the powder the man put in his protein shake was just caffeine. But it wasn't the regulated kind that you'd find in your Starbucks coffee. It was pure, raw caffeine. He only put just a teaspoon of it into his drink, which doesn't necessarily sound that bad. That is, until you realize that one of those teaspoons was equivalent to 70 cans of Red Bull. And he
God
just gulped it
damn!
down in one sitting. The man shot up awake in a cold sweat. Almost immediately, his body began revolting. His heart was pounding violently, his vision became blurry, and his chest began constricting as if an anaconda was wrapped around him. He raced to the bathroom and began vomiting. His system had been overloaded with a stimulant so powerful that there was essentially nothing that could be done to stop it. Within seconds, he collapsed to the ground, hitting his head on the floor and going into cardiac arrest. Later on in the morning, his parents would find him cold on the floor and fall into a panic. They called 911 and paramedics rushed to his home, but there was nothing they could do. The cause of the tragedy was later revealed to be the simplicity of one mistake. The scoop he used to measure the caffeine powder was actually meant for protein, not for a fine, potent stimulant. This incident sparked up a huge controversy over the ethics of making something this dangerous as accessible as it was. Many argued that powders like these shouldn't be sold on shelves if such a tiny...
They said this nigga took 70 fucking cans worth of Red Bull of caffeine straight to the fucking cardiac rhythm. Whatever that cardiac that. I ain't gonna lie, his man needs to get his ass whooped.
Mistake could come
or
with
go to jail for life.
Such a costly consequence. The death grip incident.
No, pause.
The death grip is a risky form of holding a barbell. When you pick up the weight for bench press, instead of wrapping your thumb around the bar and securing it in place, some gym goers remove their thumbs and place them to the side.
How do I bench press? Do I wrap all the way around? Oh, I think I do to the side. I think I do go like that, actually.
People say that this way of bench pressing helps them focus on pushing the weight more. Others claim that it makes their triceps activate. Nonetheless, it's a stylistic way of benching that is extremely dangerous.
Thank you for telling me that. Narrator won't be doing it no more. I don't want my trachea fucking closed.
On a Monday, at a gym in Ankeny, Iowa, a 22-year-old student at Iowa State University would find this out the hard way. The weights clanged, the music thumped, and lifters pushed themselves through the grind. For this young man, the bench press was just another part of his normal routine. It was something that he had done countless times before.
Me personally, I'm not the biggest. I don't have the biggest muscles, but there's so many better machines and workouts for your chest other than the fucking bench press. You know what I'm saying? You got the incline machine at Planet Fitness that works great. You got the pec deck machine. You got low to high cable flies. I ain't gonna lie. You got like dumbbells work your chest way better for me than bench press has ever done. That's just me. I ain't saying I know. I'm not saying I'm the biggest chest. I ain't saying I got the biggest chest. If I'm being honest with you, the times when my chest has actually been super big, or I've seen a big ass pump after the gym, has not been on the fucking bench. I'm gonna be so smooth with you.
That day, he made sure to fully load the bar to 315 pounds in an attempt to beat his PR max.
You only really need like 2 or 3 exercises for your chest.
With the plates 3 on each side, this was the kind of weight that demands respect. The man laid back and gripped the bar. But in order to really focus on doing his absolute best in this bench press, he switched his normal grip to a death grip, then unracked it. He took a deep breath, and for a moment, everything seemed normal. But before he could even attempt to bench the weight, in an instant, his grip gave way. The barbell slipped from his hands. The full 315 pounds came crashing down across his jaw.
Yo, you gotta stop doing this when you're talking about how died in life, bro. This shit is disrespectful to the families.
Neck and chest with unstoppable force. The sound echoed through the gym as lifters rushed toward him. Massive internal injuries were already done. His spotter and bystanders fought to pull the bar off, but the damage was irreversible. The man
I ain't gonna lie, 315 to the chest? God damn.
Was rushed to the hospital, but despite everything doctors tried, he passed away from his injuries. His coach later said, "He was lifting weights, something I did with him 1,000 times. But that's the cruel truth of the bench press. It doesn't take recklessness, only a second of misfortune. I hit the gym frequently, and I won't lie, I usually find myself using a death grip whenever I'm doing bench press. But the truth is, no lift is worth your life. Always use a safe grip, have a spotter, and never gamble with 300 pounds of steel. The gym should build you up, not bury you. May this man's soul rest in peace." The dumbbell incident. It was a late evening inside a small gym in Medapally, Telangana.
What the fuck is Medapally, Telangana? That sounds like some shit in Far Cry.
The clients had finished their training, the weights were racked, and the silence was broken only by the clink of iron as a 34-year-old trainer and owner cleaned up his facility. But then, out of nowhere, the calm was shattered. 3 men walked into the facility, and for some odd reason, an argument broke about between the two parties. As the feud reached a boiling point, without warning, one of the men grabbed a heavy dumbbell and drove it into his face, instantly obliterating the man's head. The men began smashing the trainer's body with dumbbells, striking his chest again and again, with each blow being more devastating than the last. The trainer's body was left mangled on the ground.
Yo, we gotta tell this to ease up on the artistic styles, man. From saying, like, I feel like no disrespect from saying, but I feel like this isn't really respectful to people's families, the way they died and shit like that. This look like when bombs fell out the fucking ring. From saying, I feel like we gotta be a little more respectful to these families, my.
And the place that he had once built to help people improve their bodies and strength now became his final battleground. The assailants fled immediately after, but luckily they were caught by the gym's security camera as they disappeared into the night. The man was rushed to a nearby hospital, but the injuries were too severe. Doctors fought to save him, but he succumbed during treatment. Investigators believe the motive may have been personal, a suspected love affair or twisted grudge. Something definitely not worth a human life. The tanning incident. On a quiet Friday evening, a 39-year-old Indianapolis man walked into a Planet Fitness on Hardigan Street. He checked in, went about his routine, and got ready to leave after finishing everything he needed to finish. But before he left, he decided to make a quick stop in the gym's tanning bed to give his skin a nice finish. It was quick. The man hopped into the tanning bed and was blasted by tanning lights for 10 minutes, left the gym, went back home, and slept happily ever after. Except that's not what happened. You see, the man's car was left parked in the gym's lot. It never left. And his family became extremely worried when he didn't return home for a day.
As a grown man, why are you using the tanning bed? My get in the sun, my. And who, as a man, why are you worried about a tan, you weird? You know what? I forgot, chat. I'm black. I just realized it. Maybe white people do like to be tan. I'm black. I already come with a natural tan. I can't wipe my off. I don't know.
One day turned into 3 days, and before you knew it, the truth finally came out. The man struggled with an addiction that I can't mention on YouTube. It's speculated that the man had consumed some of the substance before slipping into the tanning bed.
Coca-Cola?
And while the machine tanned his skin, he quickly realized that he had consumed too much of the illegal substance. He began convulsing while trying to escape the tanning bed, but it would be to no avail. For 3 whole days.
3 days?
The man would remain stuck inside with his body trapping the energy from the device's UV lights, causing him to become disfigured. Finally, a staff member of the Planet Fitness...
Yo, see what I'm saying? Then if I snickle, he said snickle. If I giggle, then I'm gonna be wrong. Look what he's doing, cuz. Feel what I'm saying? Then if I giggle at the video, then I'm gonna try and say, yo, I'm wilding. Feel what I'm saying? That's not, you know what I'm saying? Look at that shit, man. Look like Roger from American Dad. Then if I giggle at that shit, you know what I'm saying?
Discovered his body locked inside of the tanning bed. He had been there since Friday, alone, silent, and hidden in plain sight. Authorities were immediately called when they found him, and by the time police and investigators pieced it together, questions
Why is he hard? What? Yo, you gay, I ain't gonna lie. That's his bones, you weird gay.
Everywhere. Why did it take so long for someone to find him? Why did no alarms go off? And was it really just the substance he consumed that caused him to become stuck in the tanning bed? His mother later confirmed he had been struggling with an addiction, but she still remembered him as the kindest person with the softest heart. The gym is where you shape yourself into the best version of who you can be. It's a place that builds not only strength, but also health and happiness. But none of that matters without safety. Safety always comes first. Train with a spotter when you can, pay attention to your muscles and joints if they warn you to slow down, and never load more weight than you're truly ready to handle.
Spotter.
With that being said, have a happy day.
Spotter, nigga. I don't use, nigga. I'm my own spotter, bitch. Fuck is you talking about, nigga? But that's definitely chat. Listen to your body. You know what I'm saying? Definitely listen to your body. Don't push it. You know what I'm saying? Be safe, my nigga.